Welcome to a brand new episode of the Post Game. I'm your host, Davion, and I'm joined by Lillian
What's up?
and Emmett.
How's it going?
How we doing, y'all?
More awake than you, clearly.
Yeah, more, yeah. I'm not gonna argue with that statement. Welcome back. Today we are continuing our series. Let's talk basketball. But before we do that, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. If you have a comment about this team and that you don't like, please let us know because they are very funny reading all the comments about some of the guys some of the videos that we've done. But yeah, so today we are doing the Golden State Warriors. What is the highest thing they can achieve this season?
Finals champs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be a no-brainer if we didn't say that. They obviously won last season. After 2 years of like hardship and injuries and just not being good, they won the finals. And they've done it with the same core that they've had for years. And Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and I think Looney's been a part of it too, right? A
Since
little
like
bit.
2016, yeah.
But so everyone's saying that they can go back to back. How? Why?
They have the pieces, and you add Wiseman back into the mix, theoretically, assuming he stays healthy again. Continued development of Jordan Poole. You add Jermichael Green to replace your loss in Bielitsa. Moody and Kuminga going to be 19 this year. 20. Continue to develop. I mean, you see Kuminga got serious minutes throughout the regular season, decent minutes in the playoffs. And then you got first-round pick Patrick Baldwin Jr. I wouldn't expect him to do much this year. But overall, I mean, Steph's going to Steph. Clay's got himself, half a season back under his belt. Draymond Green, age could slow him down, but you never really know. Was defensive player of the year front runner until injuries last year. Just overall, such a strong squad that it's difficult to just rule them out.
So you missed one. They brought in DiVincenzo from the
That's
team.
right, to replace
I love he's literally 3-and-D, and I love these guys so much. I do think like this team is just set up to be, champions again. And I think honestly Clay will have a lot better season than he did last season. I heard a lot of the athletes say like the season after you come back from a major injury is a better season than the season before. So I'm expecting Clay to really shine this season and go off, like we know Clay to do. And so Jordan Poole and Andrew Wiggins are two of the biggest, pieces to this team last season. Are we expecting them to continue that same thing?
Yeah, I see no real reason for that to stop.
Yeah. Wait, Jordan Poole and who else?
Wiggins.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, they got their roles and they showed it, especially Wiggins.
Yeah, I mean, Wiggins was the only guy you could make even a half-decent argument for Finals MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and you having two of the greatest shooters almost of all time. I mean, it's upsetting how good like this team is because it's like, you give them a bunch of guys who know their roles and know their position and knows what they need to do, and then they go and win a finals. Like it's big, and like you said, like adding some of these and even though they lost so many guys this offseason, they lost Gary Payton, they lost
Otto Porter.
Yeah. I mean, and they lose these guys, and there was one more that went to
Bielitsa went to Europe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. And like they lose all these guys, but they still they are so fast to add guys that they need to to really put them back in the front runner as like a contender. And so I think if I'm the rest of the NBA or I'm like another NBA exec, I'm mad. I mean, you just went and You lost these guys that help you win a ring, but you gained some of the same guys that can help you win another ring. And so looking at this, do we think Wiseman's going to be a big contributor this season? Is he going to, be healthy again?
I mean, I think that assuming Wiseman stays healthy, relatively little we saw out of his rookie year. He played 39 games, averaged 11 and 6 and a block a game. And that's on they were dead last in the league. That's on a team that was dead last in the league. Shot 51% from the field, 31 from three. He's gonna have a full off season under his belt. Got to play in. I think he played in summer league. He's gonna get preseason. He's gonna get that full off-season experience he never got as a rookie because of COVID. And so I would expect that James Wiseman comes back from injury and isn't some instant impacts that averages 15 and 10 and is one of the best centers you've ever seen, but has the length and athleticism to make a decent defensive impact and give a post presence.
Yeah, I'm rooting for him. Like I loved watching him in the few games he played at Memphis. I really think he's different than since the game has changed so much. It's different from guys like Jahlil Okafor and Nerlens Noel, whose careers just didn't go as they were supposed to when they came into the league. He's got great length and great potential at his size, and would he start? Would he come off the bench to start off with? What's kind of, I don't really know what his usage will be like when he's healthy this season.
I think Wiseman is definitely one of those guys. I think because you have Kevon Looney, you start Wiseman off the bench. You don't bench the guy who was just one of the biggest contributors to your championship run. So start Wiseman off on the bench, see how the two play. If you want to play them at the same time, like a 5-4 situation, just sort of see how they can mix and play on the court, and then later through the season make your decision. Because the regular season, especially for strong teams like the Warriors, Suns, Heat, whatever, is a time to experiment and see what works. And it'll really just be an experiment for Kerr and see what he likes and move on from there.
Yeah. So do you think Curry can have another MVP season?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nothing really more to be said there.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy because I think he can too. I really think he can too. And you just haven't seen him slow down at all. And in the seasons that they were down, he was still, arguably one of the best players. Before he went down with injury, he was one of the best players in the NBA. But this team is just, I've said this more than once already. It's there's just no holes, and it's there's no flaws, and there's not really much you can pick apart, and there's not really much to say because of what they have shown and what they have showed us in the past about their team and about what they can do.
One thing I'll say about Curry is I've been looking at this more, but I've been super impressed at his defense last year. People don't talk about it, but especially in the playoffs, there was a play against Ja Morant where they stole game 3 or something because of he blocked him on a layup or something, and I think people just don't really talk about that as much. So that's especially since his MVP years in 2015-16. I think he's really improved in that category. So props to him.
I think it's a very common thing, right, in NBA conversation and discourse where, especially for older players, whatever was true 6 or 7 years ago is just still 6 or 7 later said as true. Where, you can look at Stephen Curry and objectively say that he wasn't a very good defender earlier on in his career, but he's added all of the muscles. You look at the difference in his build. He's added all that muscle and is still shooting the ball the best anyone ever has and plays physical defense. And it's something that, like you said, is really underrated, just doesn't get talked about because he was so bad earlier.
I mean, Golden State they were top 10 in points last season. They were top 2 in points. They were number 1 in assists per game. Like they were a very offensive heavy team, but they were still great on defense.
If I remember correctly, they were still like top 2 in defensive rating.
Yeah, I mean,
probably.
Yeah, I think they definitely were top 5 in like defense around the league, which with that Golden State team, like you don't expect, but because they have somebody like Draymond Green, who's a defensive anchor and someone who prides himself off defense, he gets everybody else going, especially when you get Andrew Wiggins, who has completely turned his career around since going to Golden State, completely turned it around. And so like you see like these guys, when you come to Golden State, you shoot the 3 ball well and you play good defense. And that's what they have showed, and that's what they showed last season. I think Jordan Poole his defense will get better with time. I mean, he has the offensive side down pat, and he's a 23-year-old kid who you think is like who has the confidence of a Stephen Curry, which is nuts to say out loud. But yeah, so any final thoughts on Golden State?
Yeah, I do just want to touch on Jordan Poole. I personally think he was robbed of most improved last year. I mean, John Morant, I do love John Morant. I think he's a really amazing player. But he didn't go from G League to major piece of a championship team.
Yeah.
Even when most improved is one, which is a regular season team, major piece of the number 3 team in the league. I think that Jordan Poole, over time, offensively, he has issues where he will try to do too much, but every young player has that issue. And I think as he progresses throughout his career, and I think it'll be a big jump we see this year, is turnover numbers will go down. He'll get smarter with the ball. And like you said, over his career, he will get better at defense because he'll get bigger, he'll get stronger. And I don't want to say he is going to be like the next Steph Curry, but the career progression that I think we'll see from Jordan Poole will be similar to that of Stephen Curry, where he starts out as an offensive master and over time builds the IQ and the strength to play good defense. And I think he's also one of the best finishers at the rim in the league. His ability to maneuver midair around defenders is just
it's crazy,
amazing.
I mean, he is learning everything from the greatest shooter of all, and arguably a top 10 player of all time. And for them to have the same playing styles and playing types, it's just it works. I mean, and I know he's just gonna soak it up like a sponge. And when we saw last season, he soaked it up. And he just looked like one of the better people in the league last season. And so
I think it's huge to give a guard the ability to learn from Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Steve Kerr.
Yeah.
These
are 3 of the top shooters of all time. And you're able to be with them all day, all year.
And then defensively, you've got Draymond Green in your ear telling you exactly what you need to do. It shows. I think that speaks so much to the Warriors' development. And that's why the Warriors will continue to be good, is because they've got one of the best defensive players, 2 of the greatest shooters, and one of the greatest coaches of all time. And that there will develop any player you need.
Here's a question: Is Draymond Green a Hall of Famer?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't think there should be a question about that. I think you're just trying to instigate.
No, it was just a question, because without Draymond Green, there is no Golden State Warrior. Plain and simple.
Yeah, I mean, I think Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, and Stephen Curry, they should all just be locks.
They're first ballot. They have to be. They have to be.
Yeah, you can't leave them. You can't leave them off your ballot. They go.
But yeah, if that's it, right, for Golden State for y'all.
Yep.
Yes. Thank y'all for listening to this. Golden State's a team that every single season you're not upset to watch. And I'm gonna continue to watch them whenever I want to. But yeah, so Lillian, Emmett, thank y'all for joining. I'm Davion, and this has been the post game. Peace.